Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to What's Up With That, the show that brings you interesting people, places, cultures, and subcultures here in the South Bay, the San Francisco Bay Area, the state of California, and beyond. And tonight, what's up with the Pistahan Festival and Parade? What is Pistahan? And what about the vibrant Filipino community here in the South Bay, the San Francisco Bay Area, and beyond? Well, growing up, living a long time in the islands, my neighbors were Filipino. It was an open house policy. Come on over, we got some food, we got some dancing, lots of music, lots to learn. This is why you need to go to this festival. Joining me tonight are two prominent members of the committee that puts on this festival. Please welcome to our show, Al Perez. He is the president of the Filipino American Arts Exposition. What's up with that?
Hey, Andrew. How you doing? Good to see you.
And Gerard Talampas.
There you go.
See, I have Talampas. He is the vice president and parade director, also from the Filipino American Arts Exposition. Thanks for coming down from the city. All right, let's start off at the beginning. What is the meaning of the word Pistahan?
All right. The Pistahan really actually translate to meaning festival. Okay. So it just means fiesta or festival.
No deep meaning.
No.
The age of Aquarius joining. So what is the history of the festival?
The history of the festival is that when actually that area of Yerba Buena Gardens used to be a Filipino housing area.
Okay.
Way back in time, that was really a seedy part of town, and that's the only place where the Filipinos were able to find housing, cheap housing. So then comes redevelopment, and they cleaned up the place and asked these people to move away so that they can make room for the Moscone Center and the whole arts complex there with the museums and the Yerba Buena Gardens. So after that whole area is completed, they built a gardens on top of the Moscone Center, and they invited the Filipino community to have a festival there in honor of our roots that was there before.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this has been going on for?
This is our 14 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how did you get interested in this?
I've started to volunteer about 5 years ago. The organization, the Pistahan Festival, is produced by a non-profit organization called the Filipino American Arts Exposition. So I volunteered about 5 years ago. At that time, I was working for Bank of America as a graphic designer, and I was working really more in a corporate world. So I was feeling really out of touch with the Filipino community. Yeah. So I wanted to reach out.
Bureaucrat, huh?
Yeah. Working for the bank, and
looking out the window, like, okay.
Yeah. So I felt like I was losing my culture. I was losing my ability to speak the language. Didn't have very many Filipino friends. So I wanted to reach out and get back in touch with my culture. So I volunteered, designed a poster for them, and kept coming back year after year. And then started last year, I became the president.
Wow. And how about you?
I actually am born here in America. So really this is more self-discovery for me.
Okay. Just
to be involved with my community and learn more about the community while in turn learning more about myself. I just became the vice president as well, so we're under new management, I guess you can say. And when I started, it was just I saw an opening there that really felt right to be there.
Yeah, so. I think it brings up an interesting thing. I think when America is such a melting pot that a lot of times cultures, we tend to become sort of Americanized. We lose this identity, and there's this longing in your heart to find your roots.
Exactly.
And I think that's what makes these kinds of things so appealing for a Filipino culture, but I think also for the people that come to a festival, because the investment that the people who put it on is such a heartfelt kind of thing. I mean, that's what makes it all.
Right. It's really a great place to come and experience the Filipino culture and see performances and hear the music and taste the food that people might not be familiar with. It's really a one-stop shop, so to really get a sense and get a feeling of the Filipino culture.
So let's talk about the planning of this. Let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
Because I know, these things take a long time, and there's a lot of red tape, of course.
Yeah.
And, San Francisco is very politically correct, so there's, which is a good thing. But there's a lot of things that you have to, do. So how do you begin? I mean, how do you even begin? It's such an enormous task.
Right. Well, the planning is really year-round. As soon as the festival is over, then we start already planning for the next one. We do a debrief meeting, just kind of learn about what worked and what didn't work, and then we do a brainstorm session on what can we do different the following year, and then we assemble our teams and kind of get the committee set up, and we just start planning from there. We've been doing it for 14 years, so we pretty much have a routine, a template that we work off, and then we just try to improve year after year in how we produce it and the kind of performances that we bring in.
What's the most difficult part of the planning process?
Good question. The most difficult part, I think, just the logistics part. It's just kind of getting the team together. We're very much a volunteer-based organization, so bringing new people in and finding good people to work and to be a part of the team, I think that's part of our challenge.
And how has the city of San Francisco embraced this idea?
Well, San Francisco is a very diverse city, and there's so many different cultures that have festivals, so people there really embrace this.
It's like the world capital of festivals.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's the Chinese festivals, there's Japanese, there's Latinos. So people are really looking forward to this because it's one of the few places that they can really experience Filipino culture.
So when you first got started in this, what were you looking to accomplish for the community? What were you hoping to allow the community to see as part of your culture? Okay, me coming in non-Filipino, what were you thinking that maybe you could offer me?
I mean, just to share about who we are is something that's really important. We want to go ahead and share with you this culture that we have.
Right. And we'll get into that.
Exactly. There's
we're going
so much to go over.
Some look at some of the festival images from the festival. I think you're really going to like what you see. You'll get a little bit of an idea what we're talking about. So check it out. This is the Pistahan Festival. Stay tuned. All right, as you can see, there's pretty exciting stuff going on at this festival. So we have another festival coming up. So let's talk about this year's festival and what is the theme of this year's festival and what can we expect to see?
Sure. The festival happens every second weekend of August. So this year it happens to be August 11 and 12, 2007. So the theme this year is Welcome Home. Connect, Discover, Celebrate. So the theme really is about coming home and getting a taste of the Philippines, which is our home away from home. So we're inviting people to come to San Francisco for this festival so that if they can't go all the way to the Philippines, they can get this whole amazing experience right here in San Francisco.
And what kinds of things special things you have planned for this year's festival?
All right, we have the parade and we have a festival. So
with the parade, we're actually going to feature a tour of the Philippines. We're going to go from the north all the way to the south. So we're going to feature places as Luzon, which is the northern region, into the Visayas, central, and then down south into the Mindanao region.
Yeah. So we'll have representations of different people and cultures and highlights from each region represented in the parade. So it's really, as you see the parade, you really get to see tour the Philippines. We'll have landmarks and we'll have Philippine heroes and different events from unique to those different regions.
So what kinds of things might we see? I mean, we're going to see.
Right. Well, for example, for Luzon, we're going to have a contingent that will represent Manila traffic.
Right.
Okay.
So
I've been there, so I know how that
You know
is.
how Manila traffic is.
With the jeepney and the.
Well, that's the
Right.
thing. We celebrate the traffic. So what? Basically, right? Within Manila traffic, we're actually going to have
That's funny.
little
because-
kids dress up as jeepneys, which is
Oh, that's-
basically
that's
the Philippine
classic.
public transportation.
Right.
And they're going to be in their little jeepneys, honking their horns, riding their rollerblades,
Yeah, that's perfect.
as if they're little traffic. And it's that
Right.
point in the parade where everyone just goes up and says,
we say, "Oh, the little kids."
Oh, okay, it's
It'll
yeah.
be fun.
Yeah, well, little kids are great in parades. It's the thing.
Yeah.
But I think, and so then.
Then we
as you
also
move
have another contingent that's going to perform this amazing musical instruments made out of gongs and bamboo instruments. So it's going to be playing that. So it'll be great. We'll also have another group of people who will be doing stick fighting, kind of the traditional martial arts of the Philippines called Arnis. So yeah, so we have all kinds of different people and fascinating groups.
Sounds
and then
good.
in the last cluster, we're actually going to have Bainihan cluster, which actually means Bainihan, means community.
Community, yeah.
So just a bunch of hands coming together. And actually, there's this large spectacle in the Philippines that they do traditionally. When a person needs to move, they literally pick up a house, and the community comes together, picks up the house, and moves it to its new location.
Yeah.
So we're going to
Thankfully,
do.
they're just bamboo nipa.
I was just saying,
Right.
you pick up the house.
Right.
Well,
this
yeah,
is the
they
old
were-
days, the
Okay.
traditional way when people needed to move from point A to point B. The whole community takes part and helps each other out,
Right.
and picks up that house and brings them on their shoulder and move it to the new location.
So we're going to take that tradition,
Yeah, go
and
ahead.
we're going to, on the backs of the Filipino college students, they're going to carry in this house, an actual house down the street of
Wow.
Market Street. So
How long is this
symbolically,
parade?
Yeah, it'll be a mile, I think.
How's your liability?
Well, that would be great. So you should come and see if they'll make it or
make it or break it, right?
Yeah, exactly. This is a great challenge. If it goes,
Hopefully, we'll be in the front page.
that would represent the Marco Sarah, right? I'm sorry. So well, that's cool. I mean, there's a lot of, and I know along with that, there's got to be the food, because the Filipino food is awesome.
Right, I know. As you know, when you mentioned that you had these neighbors growing up, and
Constant.
it's all
food.
about the food. So you will have all of that at this festival. So one-stop shop. You'll get a taste of all the different Filipino cuisine, from the lumpia to the pancit and all more the exotic kind of food. So yeah.
And I understand that, I mean, evolving now, it's like a real sort of nouveau Filipino cuisine. I've seen it.
Right. Yeah. There's kind of this. People are trying to appeal more to the American palate and trying to mix it up.
Yeah.
So it's great. And also, as you know, the Filipino cuisine is made out of a lot of different influences,
Right.
from the Spanish influence and the Chinese and Japanese. So really, you get the best of all these cuisines all into one. So you should come and get a taste.
Come with a big appetite.
That's right.
Actually, I mean, I've always been hooked on Filipino food, so I'm already getting hungry, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, actually,
we're
we're gonna have an adobo cook-off this
cool.
year. So we're gonna have different restaurants submit their world famous adobo recipes, and we'll have a celebrity panel of judges, and we'll do a tasting.
Why don't you explain just for a second what adobo is? Because,
All right.
And it's a lot.
Sure. How would you describe adobo? Is like the traditional Filipino stew.
Right.
We call that stew, and it's just everybody eats. It's kind of like our
Beef stew or something?
Yeah.
It could be beef, it could be chicken, it could be pork. Basically, it's sweet, sour, and salty at the same time.
But different regions have their own different interpretation
Yeah.
of the dish. Some people add coconut juice. So there's a lot of different variations. So it's very, very interesting to have people kind of have their own specialties and have a tasting.
Wow. It's good stuff. I'm telling
Yep.
you, it's really good stuff.
Yeah.
So then at the festival, okay, so we've had the parade, which will be awesome. I can't wait to see the house moved.
Well, you have to, when you do come out, the best spot to view it is in front of the Palace Hotel,
Okay.
over off of New Montgomery and Market. We're actually gonna have a little judging panel review stage there, so that's the best spot to watch it from.
All right. Keep that in mind, people.
Right.
You want to get the best spot. It's important. So at the festival, then, you'll have stages set up, I assume?
We have 2 main stages set up. It's pretty much a variety show, you know, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. in the afternoon, both days, Saturday and Sunday. We'll have world-class performing artists from hip-hop to all the way to folk dancing. So you'll
There's
see
a little
whole
bit for
kinds-
everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll get back to that in a minute. We're going to take another look at some of the exciting things you'll see at the Pistahan Festival. It's really cool. Check it out, and I'll see you in just a second. That was pretty awesome, right? So you better be there. It's coming up real soon. We were talking about the festival. Right. You said you had 2 main stages. What might we expect to see at these stages and at the booths? And there's going to be a lot of them.
At the stage, it's going to be a variety show, just all kinds of different performances. We'll have hip hop dancers for the youth, and we'll have folk dancing. We'll have comedy. All kinds of different entertainment for everybody.
And then you have what else? What things at the booths you're going to have?
Right.
Like handicraft?
And then around the festival grounds, we'll have exhibitors. We'll have folk arts and crafts booths. These are merchandise that's either coming from directly from the Philippines or Philippine inspired. Like we'll have T-shirts. They'll have home decor. There's this one exhibitor called Reflections of Asia. They have all kinds of these wonderful things from the Philippines. They even have this specialty candles that smells like the sampaguita flower you can only find in the Philippines.
Wow.
So when you light it, it'll really take you back. It's almost like going back to the Philippines.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's like going back to home.
Yeah.
So when you talk about something that is specific to a Philippine design or a Philippine type of art, what kinds of materials might we expect to be?
Yeah, there's a lot of different handicrafts made out of wood and pineapple, the Balong Tagalog, like that's the traditional Filipino wear. It's that shirt that's kind of translucent looking. They're actually made out of pineapple fibers.
Are they really?
Yeah. So and there's
all this time.
and they're hand embroidered. So if you want to have a really neat looking shirt that you want to show off to a party, come to the Pistahan. You can get one of those traditional Filipino shirts.
I used to always see those shirts at the Filipino weddings and
yes, yeah. So that's kind of our traditional.
So now I understand that. See, you can learn something new every day.
Right. Yeah.
Knowledge is a great thing. So how many groups are participating in this whole event? And what's the diversity of these groups?
All right. The groups are, from Filipino Americans. They're youth that are born and raised here. We also have people coming directly from the Philippines. We'll have this group called the Banda Kawayan, or bamboo band. All their musical instruments are made out of bamboo. They're going to come to perform. We also have people coming from Canada to perform, the East Coast, all over the country. So we're bringing all the best talents that we can find to perform and entertain people.
And what kind of diversity is represented in these groups?
Well, the diversity, I think, is just all kinds of, the Philippines is so diverse in itself. We talked about the different regions of the Philippines from the north, middle, and
Right.
south. So the different folk dancing and different entertainers will come from all the different regions of the Philippines, and also the different areas here in San Francisco Bay Area.
And what are the values that you think that these groups convey, Filipino values, convey to the spectators? I mean,
Right.
what values are unique maybe to your culture that they will experience here at this festival?
I think it's an arts festival. So really, what we're trying to share is really our rich cultural and arts tradition. The Philippines has been influenced by so many different cultures. Like I said, from Spain, from China, even from America. So we really want to share that part of our culture to the rest of the Bay Area.
So everyone can identify with a little bit of something there.
Yeah, definitely.
So in all your years working on this stuff, what's been some of the highlights, and what's been some of the most outrageous things that's happened? Because you got to get to that. I mean, that's a good. Well, let's start with like one of the most outrageous situations.
Well, we had floats that break at the middle of the parade. Like we had this one float that had actually a big float, a bamboo hut that fell off. So that's one of the bloopers.
Yeah.
And so there's always a lot of interesting things that happen.
I mean,
I don't know what else.
Murphy's Law. What can you say?
Right.
How about for you? What's some
One of my
most memorably outrageous moments you can?
Oh man, I think there's been so many. I've fallen off of one of the floats at one point.
Yeah, I've done that myself.
Yeah.
I've seen people fall off the main stage. and
Yeah. But I think for me, it's some of those amazing performances that happen on
Right.
stage.
Yeah.
Last year, we had Apple the App from Black Eyed Peas to perform.
Oh wow!
And so he also premiered his Bebot, his brand new single. So he performed it there at the Pistahan. And then we also had performances that's really unusual when we have traditional musicians and then these hip hop dancers would dance with them. So it's really this fusion of old and new coming together. So things like that to me is really amazing.
Right. It's sort of like a microcosm of the whole world in a sense.
Right, yeah.
And representative of the way how cultures, intertwine and yet they have their own independence, which is
Yeah.
important. So I mean, this must take a lot of people to put this on.
Right.
How many
Yes.
volunteers do you have to
Well,
find to?
There's a
That's-
core group of about 50 people,
Right.
and then all the way leading up to the festival, we have about 200 people helping out. And we're all volunteers, like I said. So this is all just because everybody wants to give something back to the community, and this is for the love of our culture.
And so, having set up all this, we have all the volunteers. It's probably like 2 weeks of serious hard work.
Yes.
Right.
How many people come?
Oh, well, we are the largest festival at the Yerba Buena Gardens. They do year-round programming there, and we are the largest. We expect this year from 40 to 50,000 people to come over the span of the weekend.
Wow.
So, yes, it's really
That's a lot.
remarkable.
That's a lot to,
Yeah.
to deal with. So when they get to the festival, okay, prepare them. Let's prepare them for what they should do. We get there, we park, the
Yes.
parade is first, I assume.
Parade is on Sunday. It's actually the
Okay.
second day.
The second day.
So on the
Yeah.
first day, Saturday, it's really youth orientated.
Okay. It's like the family day.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then so you would probably recommend people come, well, depending on what they want.
Right. Well, we'd love for everyone to come on both days.
Right.
But if they all can only go on one day, they probably want to get the best of both by coming to on Sunday because they can see a little bit of the parade and then get to experience the festival.
Okay, so I get up there at what time?
It's from 10 to 4:30 on the second weekend of August. So this year's August 11 and 12.
Okay, so you get there early.
Yeah, the Yerba Buena
Yeah.
Gardens.
And so we're getting close to the end of the show. What would you like to say to the audience why it is important that they come experience this? I mean,
Sure.
and what they're going to leave with, because that's
Right.
an important thing.
Sure. I think to me, it's about having that experience of another culture that you might
Right.
not know. Come and see and taste some of the food and see the remarkable performances.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have also, we forgot to mention to you earlier, we have these pavilions around there where you get to do folk dancing. We'll have workshops on how to do folk dancing, so you
Wow.
get to try
Mhm.
to do that. You'll
So
get
that's a
to
cool
try arts and crafts. You can try some of the food. So it's really about discovering the
Mhm.
wonderful traditions and cuisine of the Philippines.
What do you think?
When you go there, it might seem strange at first, but there are certain things that you'll find very familiar, especially with the food. The people are, everyone's nice, and you'll feel very comfortable sitting in the beautiful Yerba Buena gardens. Just
Yeah,
taking
have a
in the
picnic
ambiance, yeah.
and take it all in and have a great time.
Wow. Well, it does sound like a good time. And I will take you up on that.
That's right. Yeah, I want to invite you to be one of our celebrity judges at the adobo cook-off.
And I love adobo, and you know. So, all right. Well, thank you very much for coming on our show tonight. I'm sure, you know, as I always say, the more that you know, audience, the more cultures that you were exposed to, the more different experiences, the more better of a human being we become. I mean, that's the reason you do what you do. That's the reason why I do what I do. And in the end, you know, we're never going to have total understanding and tolerance in this world unless we tolerate each other, you know. And the only way we can learn that is if we learn about each other. So don't close your eyes. Open your eyes. This is a great experience for all of you to learn about the Filipino community. So go for it. I'll be seeing you there. Don't miss it. And to our viewing audience, as always, if you're walking down the street and you see something interesting and you wonder to yourself, hey, what's up with that? Well, tune into our show, What's Up With That, and maybe you'll find exactly what you're looking for. We'll see you next week on What's Up With That. Good night, everybody.
Okay, so talk amongst yourselves.